Welcome to Research Business Daily Report for May the 10th, 2012. Hi everybody, I'm Bob Lederer, editor and publisher at RFL Communications. Everyone is interested in the state of the market research employment marketplace, and we've got a twofer for you on the subject. It's with Phil Reeve, an 18-year veteran of the executive recruitment market research wars, 15 of them having been spent with his own company, Reeve Associates. Phil's been releasing more or less quarterly video reports about the state of the marketplace, and after watching just a few seconds of any of the videos, you will quickly recognize the uniqueness and the value of the information in his holster. For instance, early in 2011, Reeve Associates did a survey that revealed 7 disconnects about research hiring. A number of them remain pertinent even today. For instance, the feeling that any research job offer is a good job offer in this marketplace. And yet 51% of respondents told Reeve that they had received a research offer, but the compensation package had been totally inadequate. Number 2. A premise that would-be employers could lowball a good candidate with their first offer and still get them as a hire. Well, 9 of 10 respondents told Reeve that once they received a really lowball offer, they were significantly less interested in the job. And 3, the belief that research professionals were generally not looking to make a move during the Great Recession. Yet 43% of the respondents in this survey told Reeve they did consider moving even during the darkest days of 2010. Moving to the present, Reeve told us that the current hiring situation is extremely fluid. Here is part 1 of our 2-part discussion with Phil Reeve.
So, Phil, is the market that dynamic that every 3 or 4 months an employer and an employee need to kind of take another look at how it's changing?
Yes, most definitely. I see from quarter to quarter changes occurring. They may be directed by budget, by business that's brought in to a company, by changing products or services that a company may be offering, so they'll have different demands. And there's certainly a change from quarter to quarter on what their needs are.
What do you see as the most dramatic overall changes now in the market research, employment, and in recruiting marketplace?
It's remained relatively flat until recently. I think there's always hope each quarter that there's going to be some change, but I would certainly say in the past few months there's been a dramatic increase, first from just advertised jobs that are out there, and then to jobs that need to get filled. And we're seeing a greater demand not for onesie, twosie jobs, but for multiple layers of positions as companies are putting themselves in the driver's seat and saying we really need to hire multiple people to fill roles, either backfill or new positions due to demand.
Now, I know from some of your earlier studies that you've talked about the fact that there have been significant delays in offers that are made to very, very highly respected and coveted potential employees. So what's changing now that's leading to more hiring offers out there?
I think just the fact that companies have moved slowly in the past and have not actually closed the deal and got somebody in. Somebody may have left, they may need to hire 2 people versus 1, that there's starting to be a real demand desire to get those people hired. What happens is they need to close the gap in the timing because somebody who's good and looking, especially these days, has limited time to interview if they're employed, number 1, and also limited patience and interest as something may drag out.
So there's a lot of pent-up demand that's starting to kind of overcome the obstacle that was there before.
Correct.
Okay. Now, again, in your studies earlier, you have identified kind of minimum offering standards to get somebody to make a jump. And we'll talk about that. But I'm interested right now in people that are unemployed because we have heard, and we've heard this in a lot of industries, that people that have been out of work are kind of not getting offers. They're not being taken as seriously. They're not as coveted as people who are employed. Is that changing?
I think so, yes. From the standpoint of there's sometimes a negative connotation on somebody that's been out of work. It depends upon how long. Shorter term, 3, 6 months, even a year, I don't think is that big of an issue, especially when there's a demand now. And because employers are slow to move in making decisions on those that are employed, the unemployed may have a leg up as far as being able to wait out the interview process or even consider salaries in these ranges that aren't going to be as attractive as somebody who's employed.
Okay, well, that's good news. So, in general, are you bullish, or how bullish are you about the marketplace right now?
Right now, I'd say I'm very bullish. I mean, I'm working late every night because I'm getting lots of calls from companies, interestingly enough, that I haven't talked to in, let's say, 2, 3 years, that are coming back to me with jobs that they wanted to fill 2, 3 years ago that went on hold and are now reavailable, as well as new positions that need to be filled. We're seeing a greater demand for multiple people that need to be hired. And I think that we're at the precipice of where things are going to change.
Okay, good. We'll talk some more.
Great.
You're going to want to hear the rest of what Phil has to say, and we'll have it for you on Monday's Research Business Daily Report. By the way, his website is reevejobs.com. That's it for May the 10th. I'm Bob Lederer, hoping you have a great weekend, and we'll see you back with Phil Reeve on Monday.